I don't want to say the double brokering is okay because I don't think it is okay, but I feel like that's still okay if they pay the carrier and everything is okay. But there's
It's
now
better
double
than, yeah.
brokers
They're not
that
like,
will literally
yeah,
just like put a outrageous rate. They'll get somebody on there and then you'll deliver it and not get paid for it, you know? So
sure, sure.
yeah, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shit. When I was there, I got in trouble, but that's a long story. Fucking wild.
When you
It
when you were what?
in
In
Armenia,
Armenia?
I got
Oh,
in
really?
trouble. Yeah, like I went on Instagram Live, and like this was so we went into like their office, and it was like literally in
Uh-huh.
like an old university room. So it was like literally like an operating university, but it's like it was like old Soviet style, kind of like a rundown building, and kind of like
Yeah.
it felt like post USSR. But we walk in,
Bet
we
you
go
they
into
had
this.
fast internet there though.
That's true. The
Yeah.
post USSR
Yeah.
countries have really fast internet. You have a legit camera. Dude, no
Right?
way. You got to
I
set
stepped
up.
up my game. I stepped up my game,
Dude,
man.
you did step
No,
up your
I'm just
game.
kidding. I'm just kidding. It's still my iPhone camera, but my
Okay.
friend actually texted me. He gave me some pointers. You know, he was
Yeah.
like, just flip your phone sideways. I guess you can make it into like a more more legit video.
Dude,
So
it's
I was like,
funny.
okay, let me try this out. I
Dude, the
got two
iPhone,
monitors on. I got the white screens in the background, so you know it's like a
nice.
little bit better. So yeah,
Good stuff. The iPhone camera is actually really good for recording video.
yeah,
Which is it's better than the MacBook.
that
I'm on the MacBook, and my videographer is like telling me I should use the iPhone.
really.
So yeah,
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 that's literally what my friend told me too. He was like, "Yeah, iPhone actually has a really good camera, so just record it with that." And I was like, "Okay."
yeah. Nice, nice.
But
Looks
it was
good.
good. It was good because a lot of people actually like DM me and they were like, "Yo, this is actually a pretty good video," you know. So I was pretty surprised, like
Sure.
my friends, and I'm like, "Go like that, go comment or whatever," you know.
Dude, it's been doing
But
well.
yeah,
Like I'm surprised. Like it's honestly been doing really well.
oh yeah,
It's great. And I like
that's
the
good.
feedback.
Yeah,
So yeah, we just got to be consistent. We got to give the people what they want, you know. And
yeah. I mean,
they love some Bob Cruz.
it's an hour long, so I feel like people got to find an hour, you know, to out of their day to watch that video
Sure.
because it is still an hour, you know. So
Yeah. I mean, it is
even
an
when I
hour like
listen to like a podcast,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, go you go ahead.
Like if I listen to a podcast that's an hour long, you know, it's got to be something like good and
Yeah, it's got
like
to
there's
be
something that like kind of entertaining to me and that I want to listen
100%.
to it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
totally. Yeah. I mean, I listen to my podcast when I'm driving, when I'm walking, when I'm going to the gym. So hopefully we'll give that's what we give the people. We have some users dropped in some comments what we should talk about today. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so what I really like, there's one guy, he did this guy always messages me about it. He's an owner operator. He used to be a dispatcher. I used to work with him. And
Uh-huh.
he always tells me like that during like the pandemic, all these trucking companies got like out, they got all like the PPP loans and the small business loans and all that stuff, like where the government was handing out money essentially left and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like all these trucking companies, not all of them, but like so many trucking company owners like ended up like buying Porsches and buying nice houses, nice cars, and it's like a huge like fraud and stuff. Like, have you heard about that?
Yeah.
From your like
I did
circle?
see some people doing that and buying that, but honestly, most of those people I feel like they got caught, you know, or they
Yeah.
like ended up in jail and who knows what. Because I've seen some people did that in Miami
Okay.
and they ended up being caught and yeah, so I don't know.
Do you know anyone that got caught?
I don't know anyone that got caught, but I
Okay.
know people that took out those loans though. So
Sure, sure,
and but like my friends that took them out, like I know a guy that took it out and he actually used it, you know, for his business.
sure.
I wish I took it out, to be honest. I wish
Same.
like I was approved at that time because I think at that time we didn't have the business for the amount of time that you needed it to be
Yeah,
active, you know, so we couldn't take one out. But I wish I did because that was a sick interest rate, you know. So
sure.
imagine if they gave you like $1 million at whatever 3% or whatever it was, you know, and I think first year it's like I think it's like free or something, and then after that it's like three
Yeah,
percent or something like that. There's different ones, but yeah, and then you use that $1 million to just buy some trucks or buy some trailers, or you use that to buy like a warehouse, you know, that would be
sure.
amazing. So
Dude, all those,
yeah.
but like, so there's like the SBA loans and there's like the PPP loans that got like forgiven. So like people like were
Uh-huh.
giving out. The PPP loans were just literally you take out the money and the government forgave them. I don't
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
It's mind
I
boggling
know
for me.
I know a few people that took out those like PPP loans, like because if you were self-employed, you could get a couple grand, I think, and then you could
Sure.
apply for like the forgiveness. So I know like a few people that got like 7 grand or whatever they applied for and got away with it, which is, I mean, hey, if the government is that dumb enough to hand out money, then why not take it? I guess,
Dude,
we're all paying
I was
taxes
stupid
for
enough
it.
not to
So
take it. I'm so pissed.
yeah,
I didn't get anything from COVID. Nothing.
really.
So yeah,
I
it is what it
somehow,
is.
believe it or not, I somehow got the $1,200 checks. I don't know
Per
how.
month.
Oh, well, no, no, no. Remember when Trump was sending them out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the $1,200 checks. Somehow I ended up getting one, I think, or two. But I think at that
Sure.
time I was still like a dispatcher, and I wasn't like because I went from an owner operator to a dispatcher, and my pay cut was like cut like bad. Like I went from like making this much money to
How much
making
were we making at
this.
like the peak of being an owner operator?
At the peak, you were making like 10 grand a week. I think.
Clean
Like yeah.
after payments, or that was before
I think it depends on the week, but you could have made that. Like, yeah.
10K.
Maybe not like clean, but like eight grand clean you could
Sure.
have definitely made. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How much are they making now?
Owner operators.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it depends on the owner operator. I think depends how hard he hustles, and how hard he runs and if they work. See, a lot of owner operators, I feel like a lot of them don't want to work on the weekend. So a lot of them will only drive Monday through Friday, and then they'll lose
Okay.
out a big portion over the weekend because you could kind of like drive that.
Sure.
But to be honest, I think they're making the same amount as a company driver. I think that's
Yeah.
literally what it is. I think right now it's better to be a company driver, park your truck, don't put any miles on it, don't waste your tires and your maintenance, and just drive for a company because you're gonna make almost the same amount and you're not worried about nothing. So
Yeah.
I think the companies, like the smaller companies, are taking the biggest hit, to be honest. So yeah,
Sure. That's pretty wild. It's
yeah.
yeah, that's what I heard though. Company drivers are making like owner operators to deal with all that paperwork, all those like problems with your truck. It's not worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because you'll make a little bit more as an owner operator, but then like you have something wrong goes with your truck. One tire blowout on the road that's gonna
Yeah.
cost you, $800 or $700. Depends what tire it is.
Sure,
So
sure.
if it's a steer tire, then it's over 1,000. So yeah,
Yeah. Damn. Fuck that, dude. Being a
yeah,
broker is
it's
nice and
crazy.
easy. All you have to do is just have a laptop and a customer. That's all you need.
Man, we had a meeting kind of like yesterday. I was talking to like I don't know. There's a lot of things that go into being a broker. I feel like, huh?
There are a lot of things. The nice thing is you don't only have the overhead that you do with the truck, right? Like you just
Yeah,
have to, it's all like kind of digital. It's like, yeah, you have to take care of all like the digital freight kind of tech side things. And like obviously you have
yeah.
to have like sales skills, but you don't have to have a truck and a driver, like
Yeah. So you
that's
don't need like,
crosstalk.
because like a truck is say 180 grand, a trailer, a new one, and then a trailer's 55 right now or 50
Sure.
grand. I guess with the brokerage, what do you need? Like computers, right?
Computers,
Telephone,
yeah. Yeah, internet, phone
software.
call. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Literally.
But then I think there's still like, man, you gotta go get this load. Like we were talking about it yesterday, right? So you gotta go find the customer, right? Find the shipper or
Yeah.
whatever. Then you have to find a carrier, a good carrier, because you can get screwed with a bad carrier. And I
Hmm.
didn't realize that, but like from my point, like we were talking about like how DAT is like a broad thing, right? Where there could be good, bad things, everything about it. But like if you're a broker, because we were talking about it, like that they have these Telegram chats, right? And
Hmm.
they have like dedicated carriers on there. And I was like, I mean, I have a Telegram, but I don't even use it that much. But I was like, that kind of makes sense because if you work with one carrier like once, then you don't have to worry about them screwing you over or whatever. So you would
Yeah.
rather post that load on Telegram first than post it on DAT. And that's what I kind of realized yesterday. I was like, this is why all the brokers have their own boards now. Because back then, I feel like everything was getting posted on DAT like years ago, like 5 years ago, right?
Hmm.
I feel like everything was getting posted on DAT. Everything was booking off of DAT or truck stop. And now
Yep.
all these brokers, like I'm looking at it right now, right? There's like 10 different load boards that we just literally click through and
Yeah.
try to search and find a load on there. And they'll never post it on DAT. And I was like, why did they, like yesterday? I realized why they do that is because they allow which carriers can go on there and book it, instead
Yeah.
of posting on DAT and having all these double brokers hit them up, all these people that they're not even approved yet to carry with them. I was like,
Yeah.
dang, this is kind of interesting. So that
Sure.
that that
Sure.
was like shocking to me yesterday, to be honest. I didn't even realize this.
Dude, dealing with shady carriers honestly is so time consuming. Like when you get a phone call from like a double broker to check in the system, let's say someone on the team already booked them, has the paperwork. Like the worst is obviously if they pick up and they screw you over. But dude, like right now, like I know you told me that Flock Freight uh won't work with you because you don't have enough inspections, which is
Yeah,
like in a way for them, it's a way to eliminate all the double brokers. It's like shit.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't make
That's
sense.
actually somebody actually wrote that in the comments. Why every broker requiring multiple inspection, pushing
Yeah,
small carriers out? And I don't think I get that point, right? But I don't think they're trying to push the small carriers out. I think they're just trying to push the double brokers out.
yeah,
But you know what I think? I think double brokers are all these scammers. They're actually gonna find an easier way to get in, and then all these actual small carriers are gonna end up getting screwed.
sure, sure.
I don't know.
So, dude, so when I went to Armenia, which is like double broker in capital of the world, like they have
Yeah,
all these offices on every corner, and I'm like talking to these people, and like their largest customers or like the largest brokers they work with are like the TQLs, like
oh wow.
the modes, like they work with like large brokerages, because typically like let's say you're a TQL broker, and first of all you're dealing like your competition is your employees to cover that load, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden like shit, like this guy's gonna cover it for me, and like some double brokers are actually like bustling or like hustling, like trying to cover freight.
yeah.
And you like imagine you find someone that's in Armenia and like damn, like you just turn a blind eye to it because you're like shit, they're covering my loads. I don't care. Like if they as long as the trucking company that hauls it gets paid, like they're good with it. So these major large brokerages is where like the most they work the most with double brokers. It's kind of surprising.
Hmm.
Um,
That makes sense because so that's what I noticed. I posted a couple of videos about double brokerage and people are commenting like double brokers
yeah.
are not as bad, we
Oh
actually
yeah.
do most of the work, this
Oh
and that.
yeah.
And I'm like, at
Yeah.
first I kind of didn't get it, but then to a point I do understand that, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just taking it from these bigger brokerages, they're making 50, $100 on it, and then they're just double brokering it to
Yeah.
somebody else. But then by the time it gets to the actual carrier or to the owner operator, so the load went from this amount to
Sure.
this amount to this amount, and then the
No.
the carrier or the owner operator is the one that's actually doing, most of the work, like actually
Sure.
taking
Sure.
that load and transporting it. But I
Yeah.
get why they're doing that if they have like double brokers, if they have more connections or they're using all these like Telegram chats or whatnot,
Sure.
it makes sense. But I feel like that's still, I don't want to say the double brokering is okay because I don't think it is okay, but I feel like that's still okay if they pay the carrier and everything is okay. But there's
It's
now
better
double
than yeah.
brokers
They're not
that
like
will literally
yeah.
just like put a outrageous rate. They'll get somebody on there and then you'll deliver it and not get paid for it. So
Sure. Sure.
yeah, that's the crazy part.
Yeah. And there's a lot of shit. When I was there, I got in trouble, but that's a long story. Fucking wild.
When you
They
when you were what?
in
In
Armenia,
Armenia?
I got
Oh,
in
really?
trouble. Yeah, like I went on Instagram Live, and like this was so we went into like their office, and it was like literally in
Uh-huh.
like an old university room. So it was like literally like an operating university, but it was like old Soviet style, kind of like a rundown building. It kind of like
Yeah.
it felt like post USSR. But we walk
I
in,
bet
we
you they
go into
had
this.
fast internet there though.
That's true. The
Yeah.
post USSR
Yeah.
countries have really fast internet, but we literally
Yeah.
walk in. There's like six of them in an office, super cool. Like they're our age, just working, covering freight.
Yeah.
Like literally looks like a normal brokering office. And dude, I ended up like going on Instagram Live for like 5 minutes because I asked him like, "Oh, is it cool if I show like my Instagram followers like how a double brokering office looks like?" And dude, like literally 5 minutes after like that happened, dude, like six literally six Armenians just storm the fucking building and they start
Oh
beating up
wow.
the guy that invited us like to the building. Like, and it's
Oh
like,
wow.
dude, it was really bad. It was really bad. They started screaming. They took my phone. They deleted every meme that made fun of Armenian double brokers. They literally deleted all the content we had. We had like a great interview with a guy that was a double broker telling us exactly who he works with, how he operates. Like
Wow.
they had no freight guards on their MC because they're like a really good double brokering office where they just work with a few brokers they know and they're going to service the hell out of the loads, like kind of thing.
Were
And
were these guys that came in and kind of were they like the owners, or was
the
it just
owners,
random?
yeah, it was the
Oh, okay.
owners, yeah, and
So
like,
okay, that makes sense.
dude, yeah, they ended up taking us to a cafe, like the owners, and like we literally talked to them for like 5 hours, and this guy was like wanting me to create a video about like why double brokering is good and that they're not doing anything shady, they're helping the industry and all this stuff, right? And I'm like,
Huh.
shit,
Wow.
like, yeah. And then like after I came
You're
back
like,
from Armenia,
I came here to make a video, not about why they are good.
yeah,
Now I got hooked into. Okay, wow, that's crazy, dude.
dude, it was, dude, there was one time I was walking on the streets of Armenia. It was like the day afterwards. And there's a guy in a G Wagon, like a black G Wagon. So you know there's something up when there's a black G
Yeah.
Wagon in a post USSR country. Dude literally rolls down the window, like rolls down the window, like stares at me, and then rolls up the window back up. Like I'm like shit. Like it was
Yeah.
weird. It was weird because then we went to like this other place in like the center of the city.
You should have been like, do you know who I know?
Dude,
That's what you got to do in those countries. Do you know my connections?
dude,
Because
these
it's
people,
everybody who they all know, you know, who they know
they
each other.
knew
That's how
like
it
that
works.
guy who rolled down his window 100% knew that like who I was 100% because like
Yeah.
when what happened the night before like spread to everyone saying like
Oh
I
wow.
was
Yeah.
literally the first American to ever come fucking visit them, you know, and like
Yeah.
they thought I'm a spy or like someone that was just there to like get them out of business or something like that, so they were
Yeah.
like really paranoid about me.
Oh
uh
wow.
but like dude, so we were like
So,
the next, yeah, you go
uh-huh,
for it.
go ahead, go. So like when you went to Armenia,
Yeah,
so Armenia, I'm guessing it's a pretty big country, right? I mean, it's not huge, but there's a couple
it's
cities there, right?
there's a couple, yeah, but Yerevan is like the main one.
Okay, and that's where
Yeah,
like the main brokerage is, or double brokerage is? Is that like in
yeah,
that town or in that city?
so back in the day, there used to be like I think one like American company that was affiliated with them, where like
Hmm.
Armenians like from Glendale, and then like you know some people ended up making money from there, and they're like, screw it, I want to open up my own double brokering office. So there's like hundreds of double brokering offices that are not affiliated with each other, and like I was told there's a double brokering office on every corner of Yerevan. Literally, there's like
Wow.
it's and dude, you go anywhere. Like we were at the hotel reception, and the two employees that were at the hotel reception working were telling us how they used to be double brokers. Like they
Wow.
literally, and it's like a thing that if you speak any sort of English, like you're
Yeah.
literally put in to become a double broker. It's like the only
Yeah,
way to
because
make
it's
money.
like right. That's what I was about to
You know?
say. Yeah.
And
That's literally, I was surprised because when I went to Ukraine too, like before the war started and everything, and I went to my city where I usually go, Ivano-Frankivsk, and I knew there's like, so we in Ukraine, they had a lot of dispatchers. It was like a
yeah,
big thing when everything got super pricey here, was to outsource everything to Ukraine and
yeah,
hire the dispatchers there, you know? So there was like Kiev, all these, but I didn't know Ivano-Frankivsk. I literally walked into the restaurant there. I'm sitting there with my cousin. Some dude walks in. He's like, dude, are you USA Transportation? Like he was like, I was like, what? You
he
know,
was
and he was
mind
actually
blown,
like
dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
but he was like a
yeah,
dispatcher in Ivano-Frankivsk. He was working
that's
actually,
cool.
it was a pretty big company too. I forgot what it was, but it was like a big one, you know. And I was like,
Sure.
wow, I did not realize that even like this city has, you know, dispatchers there. But
Yeah.
yeah, people just outsource everything to different countries. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, that's what I did in Ukraine. I remember it was funny when I first I called you on a posting. This was like I was in Odessa May 2020 and I saw like the email. I'm like, shit, this is the guy. This is USA Transportation. I heard you pick up. I'm like, yo, like you're about to hang up. I'm like, wait, are you USA Transportation? I just
Yeah, yeah.
remember that. It was so funny.
Yeah, yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that. I was still working for BFM when I first moved to
Yep.
Charlotte. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a small world. But yeah, in Armenia, so what happened was shit, what happened? I forgot. I was gonna say something
He
about
said
him,
like the
but
next day, so
yeah,
after
dude. The
those
next
two.
day we were like at this like the Moscow Theater. It's just like a popular place for people to go, and literally like my buddy like spilled some coffee on his jacket, and literally like a dude like right next to him like hands him like a like a napkin to wipe off the coffee, and like he looks at me, he's like, "Yo, are you free caviar?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like the fuck, like like this guy's just standing next to me,
Yeah.
like next, like I'm not sure if
Yeah.
he's like following me or like trying to figure out like like it was weird. So it was definitely like
Yeah, it's sketchy, I bet.
dude, I went there for a few days and I'm like, I gotta gotta get out of here before I die or like
Yeah.
get kidnapped or
Yeah.
something.
Now that's how I feel. Like I feel like that's how I would feel too, you know, because sometimes you never know what these people, you know, are
Dude,
thinking, or
especially when
especially
it's
if you're trying to go
livelihood.
there and like, yeah, especially if
You
it's
know,
their livelihood. Dude, I spent yesterday, no joke, I got a call from, you know, most people would hang up within like the two, like not even a minute. It's like At first I thought it was like an Indian guy, but he ended up being
Okay.
Pakistani or
Sure.
Pakistani. I don't know if I'm saying that
Pakistani.
correct. Pakistani, yeah. And I started talking to him, and I was so surprised, like how much information they actually know about like trucking. Like
Sure.
he knew everything about it. Like and I literally spent 40 minutes just going back because people would just hang out. They call you. They're like, hey, we're trying to provide you a dispatching service, this and that, And I'm like,
Sure.
we're the dispatchers ourselves. We can provide the service for you if you want. I was kind of like being like joking with him first, but then we started. He like transferred me to his. Well, first I was talking to first like a sales guy first, and then he transferred me to his manager. And then I was like
Yeah.
talking to his manager. But I was honestly surprised how much they know about it, and I'm like, these people are willing to go way above and beyond compared to what some people, in America, like what we're willing to do. I feel like some
Sure.
people here, they're kind of like, we have a good, they don't even try to like learn extra things, or like they won't be as consistent. This guy was consistent and persistent. I feel like with like, his sales tactic or whatever it was. It was like, we have this, we use these load boards. And I was like asking him, what do you guys use? Which load boards? Like, I just wanted to find out everything. I'm like, how much do
Sure.
they really know? Because
Yeah.
he probably thought I was just an owner operator or something, because they see your MC, and they'll just reach out like, hey, we provide dispatching service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would
Sure.
you be
Sure.
interested? So I was like trying to find out as much details
Did
as I could. And he's like, no, we only charge this percentage. We use all these load boards. And I was pretty shocked, to be honest. I was very
Yeah.
shocked. Like
Were you
my
considering using
coworkers were
them?
like, why? No, I would
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I'm
yeah.
I'm too sketched out to there's so much that rides into like having a trucking company. There's so many things that can go wrong. Like, right, even like we had like a couple out of services or like stuff that can go wrong. Imagine you using somebody that's like in a whole different country that doesn't really care about your load or anything that you're transferring, or doesn't really have like, what are you gonna do? He's gonna screw up your company. What are you gonna go fly there and tell him? I mean, you're not gonna do much here either, but at least you could like let go of a person, or like at least you could see like when we try to hire
Yeah.
somebody, at least we know that they'll care, about it. Like,
Sure.
not, I'm not saying that they don't care, but it's like, at least, I don't know. I feel like it's
I
better
get
to do
it.
everything in-house, than, or like have control over, like if you're doing it overseas, it's better to have control or have like a good
Sure.
manager in place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely. Definitely.
but yeah,
Uh, that's interesting. I had some guy reach out to me like last week to like promote his dispatch service in India, and like to like he wanted to hop on a call and like talk about it. I'm like, dude, I'm like way too busy to do that kind of stuff. Like to
yeah,
talk to someone
yeah,
about like opening up an outsourcing office in India. Unfortunately, you probably get hit up all the time nonstop to like
yeah.
do
And
something.
I'm just, because I try to be very nice in my DMs, and I try to respond to as many people as I can. But like when people try to kind of hit me up about advertisement, I have this like, because in Instagram you could just type like whatever, like you could shorten to a
Auto,
certain word,
yeah,
auto reply or whatever, and you just
sure,
tap it, and it will just, the paragraph will pop up, and it's like, hey, I charge this much for whatever.
sure,
And
sure.
I don't
Nice and easy.
like, people will always hit me up like, hey, can you give me a call? I have some questions about this.
Sure.
I'm like, I wish I could. I really wish I
Yeah,
could, but like I have this and this going on. I really can't hop on a call and help you try to get a CDL. Like I can tell you who can help you get a CDL, or like,
yeah.
but like I really can't explain to you the process of it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we should start making like a what is it called? Like a booklet, on certain things, how to do certain things, because there's a lot of people
Dude,
that,
I
that they
think
want to learn.
we make a killing on courses. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we gotta start planning that out, mapping it out. It's gonna take some
Yeah.
time to do it, but there's money to be made. Like I listen to all these
Yeah,
podcasts
there's money to
about it.
be made, but I feel like also courses actually help out certain people too. Because if you think about it, like, right, if I want to learn something, right, like if I want to learn about something, I would rather pay, like, for example, me or you, right? Say if I wanted to
Yeah,
learn about brokerage, I knew you were already in it, right? So I would rather learn from somebody that's already done it and been through it. And
mm-hmm.
he's like, hey, here's my course. This is how I did it.
Sure,
And here's my context, how to like reach that. For example, I feel like if I started a course how to start a trucking company, right, or how to become an owner operator, I would be like, if I ever did it, not that I ever will, but like if I ever did it, I'd be like, okay, here are the steps. Here's the people that you could reach out to, and they will actually help you set it all up. Because I feel like in the beginning, I had to call this guy, this guy, this guy, like
yeah,
just trying to get to that one guy, right, that actually helped me start whatever it
sure,
was. So like imagine if I had somebody that like I paid for this course, whatever it was, right? And I had the context to him starting my MC, him starting my DOT, him reaching out to the insurance people, right? Or like
Yeah,
and him like just filling all that filling all that out, and you just pay him a fee
totally.
for it. So it would have it would
100%.
have made my life so much easier. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm the same way with the brokerage stuff. When I opened up a brokerage MC, like I was lost. Just like, dude,
yeah,
it's like not that simple. Like it's technically pretty simple, but it's like tedious paperwork and like tedious stuff. You got to go to this website, that website. Yeah, that would have been definitely useful. I was actually, by the way, I was at the Transloop office. Have you ever worked with
uh-huh.
Transloop before?
I think we have, yeah,
Okay, I mean
yeah. We've definitely have done some loads for them.
they supposedly have like really good reviews, like from carriers. Like they don't have any like negative carrier reviews.
Hmm.
Which I'm not sure. Like I was talking to the CEO, dude, it's crazy. They started in 2019 as a freight brokerage,
Oh
and
wow,
yet last year they were ranked number 12 as like the fastest private growing company in the United States.
oh wow,
And like they did over 100 million in revenue last year. So in their fourth year, fourth year of operating, they did over 100 million in revenue. Dude, like I was asking him because I know you were asking me like to ask him some questions. It was
yeah,
actually remarkable how they did they literally, I asked the guy like how he did it. He said that there's four founders, and each one of them had like a different kind of like specialty or responsibility. Like Nick, the CEO, is like all sales, so he just like
hmm,
he used to do sales at TQL, and then like he didn't even go after his old customers. He just like knew how to like the strategy behind it. Uh,
yeah.
he had a guy that did accounting. He said accounting is super important. It is super important. I keep like
It is,
my mentor keeps telling me about accounting too, and like
yeah.
I'm like shit. Like I got to get on top of accounting. And then like he had people that like that did like operations and like just kind of like just carrier onboarding, and they were all just really good at their separate things, and they just I don't know, they exploded it. It's insane.
Oh
Like
wow. Yeah,
they
I feel like if you have the right people around you, it's
yeah
a lot, it's a
they had
lot easier.
zero
Yeah.
investors, zero like they didn't
Oh
like
wow.
yeah like
So
it
was it
was
like do you know if it was just one guy starting it, or was it like four partners or four guys
it
starting as
was
like a
four
partnership?
guys starting together as founders.
Oh
They were
yeah.
all actually from TQL if I'm not mistaken.
Oh
Um,
wow. Good.
yeah.
Good
Yeah.
TQL.
Well, it's funny. Like, well, he was like saying like that. You know, he saw like what they were doing at TQL, and like they wanted to do like that, but like with good quality, ethical, like
Yeah.
quality, and
Yeah.
like if you look at the reviews, supposedly Transloop has like really good high reviews from the carrier side, which is
Well,
kind of
good,
unheard
man.
of.
I hope they go to the top, because we
Yeah,
need more good brokerages out there, like we
totally.
really do, honestly, from the carrier side, because there's a lot of brokers out there that are just not good, to be
Who are
honest,
your
not good at
least
all.
favorite brokerages, brokers, or
Well, obviously, you know which one.
all right, past that one. Anyone else that's like sticks up there that's like, damn, these guys suck.
Um, so I think it really depends, like if you have a good rep in the brokerage,
Sure,
because sometimes we would have like, for example, like Uber Freight was pretty bad, right? Like we had no rep there, and it was just like, but now that we had like, and the sad part is actually, I guess they leveled him up, so now he's going to work with companies with or carriers with more than 100 trucks, so he can't
sure,
work with us anymore. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But once you get like a good rep, in
yeah.
any brokerage, I think everything changes, because that's kind of what happened with us with Arrive. We had a really, really bad rep in the beginning. And then I posted something on my
I
Instagram,
saw
and I
that. I
had so many
remember.
people reach out, like
Yeah, yeah.
so many reps reach out to me. And then we finally found like a guy kept actually hitting me up. Shout out to Dave. He kept hitting me up, and we literally like I had so many emails, so I was not really like trying to be like, but I like tried to respond to everybody. But he kept kind of, being consistent with it, so
Sure,
we
sure.
started working with him, and he's been great so far. So like I think last week something happened with other dispatchers, but or like other stuff. But yeah,
Sure,
like I think it really depends. If you have like a good rep, in that brokerage, then I think that brokerage will do, like you'll be really good with that brokerage. Because
sure.
I feel like in the beginning, if you don't have anybody, you'll not get any response from anybody, and you'll think that the whole brokerage sucks.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah, no, especially with the big companies, it's really dependent on who you're dealing with. And honestly, same thing with TQL. I feel like you get a good
yeah,
rep at TQL. It might be more difficult, but
it
yeah,
is. And I know I talk like, or I make memes about them or whatnot, but it's definitely true. And they actually do pay decent money from what I heard on some loads, because I think my sister like uses them, like because they have their own company or whatever, and she's like,
sure.
I joke around with her and she's like, you guys are stupid. You guys just, like
You guys don't
she
get it.
has a, yeah, she has a good rap and maybe he's like, giving her decent loads and he doesn't care about the updatings and whatnot, and he needs to pay her all the time. But dude, from what, like, read the comments on some of my posts about TQL, it's not like,
It's
I don't know
split.
why they're trying to go after me or whatever, but this is what people are talking about them.
No,
People are like, dude, they're not paying, they're lying on their stuff, they're doing a lot
no.
of sketchy stuff, so that's why it's not like that I'm just posting memes about them. It's,
Sure, sure,
bro,
sure.
like everybody's talking bad stuff about them. Not everybody, but most people are. They're like, yo, they suck. So it is what it
Sure.
is.
That's
Yeah.
great. Well, who's your favorite brokerage? CH?
I would say CH, yeah. CH, Arrive. Coyote used to be really good. We barely use Coyote now. I don't know what happened to them. XPO used to be good, but yeah,
Now it's
not
RXO.
much. Yeah, not RXO, yeah.
Dude, I don't get that whole thing.
Flock Freight
Yeah,
used to be good. We did so many loads with them. We did so many loads with them, and now they implied this new thing, where now it's like we can't book with them because they're like, you don't have enough inspections. I'm like,
that's
the dumbest
ridiculous.
thing ever.
Last week when I was in Tampa for like our event party, like there's a guy, national sales manager from Flock, who we grew up in the same like hometown
Uh-huh.
here in Des Plaines. So I could hit him up afterwards and like ask him if he could do
Yeah.
anything.
Be like, yo,
But
my friend Bob here needs some, you know.
sure, sure,
No, but like
sure.
I don't get it. Like what more proof do you need? We literally sent, so what they're, I feel like what they're scared of is these companies book a load with them because they have like a lot of LTLs and they rebroker it out, So
Sure.
if they see that you do a big volume with them, but you don't have enough like trucks, then they'll be like, they'll flag you. They'll think that you're a double broker because you're like, how can you book 50 loads in a month and you have three trucks, for example?
Sure,
They're
sure.
like,
Yeah.
obviously it's a double broker. But I
Yeah.
literally hit up our rep and I was like, yo, here's all my registrations for all my trucks. Here we actually have all this. It's not, they're like, no, we still need inspections. I'm like, what do you want my drivers to pull into the scale and beg the DOT to do an inspection? It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's
but we just
ridiculous.
had so many inspections in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on, but this year started rough. We had like, I don't know, six or something like that inspection in the last 2 weeks, and like three of them were out of service. Bro,
Oh
so bad.
wow.
Yeah.
Shit. So like you're going to have a lot more inspections, but you're gonna have high scores. Shit.
Yeah. It's
And
not
like,
good.
yeah, then
And
some
it's like
broke.
for the dumbest things too, that like
Shit.
drivers don't check their tires or like, it
Yeah.
just it sucks, man. I feel like a lot of people, I mean, even when I was a driver, I feel like you don't realize you don't care as much, but because I think when you become an like when you actually own a company or you have trucks, I feel like you look at it completely different because you see the bigger picture.
Oh yeah.
But as a driver, I feel like when I was driving for my brother Mike, still out of Rochester, I was like, dude, I was just in there. Give me loads from Rochester to Laredo and back. I did not,
Sure.
I would run around the truck once a day, do my PTIs, and call it a day,
Yeah.
but now that we actually have our own, you care so much more because you're like, like one tire blows on the road, it's $800, So
Mm-hmm.
all your profit that you're technically like could be making on that load, it just gets wiped out like that.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's crazy. It's really crazy. And people, especially right now, I feel like people don't realize that, or some drivers don't realize that. They
Sure,
think,
sure.
oh, a company is this and that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
Uh
it is what it is.
that's crazy. Like I know I was telling you about the CEO of LogRock. I know I added you on an email, logrock.com. So like
Yeah.
they have a new strategy now, and I was just talking to him like on Monday. They're literally gonna give the software for free to where like you could organize all your compliance stuff in like their system, and they're gonna become like an insurance agent because that's where like
Oh
they're
wow.
gonna buy out an insurance agency. So you could like you should hit him up, but he literally like his software that he created for like compliance, just making sure that all your drivers are up to date
Uh-huh.
for your safety man. Like you have a safety manager or no?
I mean, we got like two people that kind of run it, but we don't have like a specific one yet.
Sure. So
We
that
don't have, we're
person
not, yeah.
or those people could just upload all the documents and then like it keeps you up like it reminds you it's like, oh, this person needs this updated or
Mhm.
that or that. So if you were to get audited by the DOT, you're like, here, I have everything in logrock.com.
Yeah,
Everything's up to date.
we'll have to check it out. We'll definitely have to check it out because I mean, for us, believe it or not, we're pretty organized. Like we have our stuff. I mean, not me personally, but like our office staff or like our office people, they really know their stuff and like they have like the sheets, all this stuff plugged in,
Yeah,
Google Drive, dude, everything is in folders. I'm surprised
sure.
myself to be honest. So
Yeah,
it's definitely good, but I could see where like like a system like that, you just plug it up and it
exactly.
reminds you, hey, this guy's medical card is expiring, or this
Yeah,
guy's, he needs a physical or something like that. That would definitely be helpful. So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's gonna be under 50 trucks, they'll be completely free. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
You were talking about insurance that they're buying out on insurance. We actually had a
Yeah.
question about insurance rates. Somebody, I don't know if he reached out to you or to me, but
I
I
didn't
just
get
read one of them.
yeah.
He
What was
said,
it?
why is insurance, he goes, why is insurance so high and how do you get lower rates?
Why is insurance so high? Well, if you're a new company, insurance is high, that's for sure. And if it continues to be high, you're probably unsafe. Probably have
Yeah.
some accidents. I mean, all depends on like your history, right? Like you know more better because you've been in it for a few years. Have you seen your insurance rates drop? Because they should have dropped from the first couple years, right?
They,
Or not?
yeah, they did. Oh, dude, our insurance was so bad for the second year actually. So the first year it was okay. Well, it was still bad, but we were limited to two trucks. We couldn't grow more than
Yeah.
two trucks the first year
Hmm.
because they're like they cap you out. It's a good insurance. That's it. You can't grow anymore. If we
Sure.
stayed with that insurance for the second year, we could have added two more trucks. And I'm
Okay.
like, by the time I'm 60, we could probably get to 20 trucks. Nice. So I'm like, we got to change our strategy. So we
Sure.
went with a different one. It actually was higher than the first year, but it let us grow, up to like 10 trucks the second year. But it was
Okay.
like high.
How
It
much were
was
we
high.
paying?
Oh man, a lot. I think it was like 27 grand per truck, or like per
27 grand.
yeah a
Damn.
year.
And but
Yeah.
the donor operator pays for that, right?
So yeah, like owner operators, they could pay for the physical damage, and then the other one. But basically, well, owner operators they will pay for everything. But like even as a company, if
Sure.
you have a company truck, then you have to pay for everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
usually when we add on owner operators, we'll get the cargo and the liability for them, and they'll get the physical damage, and then there's another one. I forgot. It like slipped my mind. But there's another one. I
Sure.
think like liability or something like that. But yeah, they they
Okay.
they get those themselves, or actually a company can get it for them too. So like it
Sure.
depends. But yeah, they would end up paying for it.
Definitely.
So a lot of us like, and even the second year, like our own operators were like, dude, we're not gonna really go with you because your insurance is so high. So they'd rather go with a company that's got cheaper insurances.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, totally. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I think like why is insurance so high in general? In general, like looking at a trucking perspective, I think because in general, I feel like insurance has went up, right? I don't think it's
Sure.
just like you're a new company, but in general, I think it went up. There's a lot of new drivers that are starting out, and I feel like there's a lot more accidents than there used to be.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like they're saying that the ELDs has changed something, but like, dude, there's been a lot of accident. Every time there's a snowstorm or something, people are crashing, you
Dude,
know?
those videos, oh my God. Crazy. The one like
Yeah.
the accident videos.
Yeah. And I feel like
It's
a lot of
insane.
people get into it and they don't really know what they're doing or they're not trained well enough.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of where the insurance is so high because the insurance is like you have a crash. Well, now you're paying for the truck, you're paying for the trailer, you're paying for the cargo, you're paying for if you killed somebody or
Yeah.
injured somebody. It's like it could be millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
of course it's going to be high.
Sure.
But they started right now, I think for to get your CDL, they started a new thing where you actually have to go through like schools and you have to have a certain amount of things. So I think it's actually a good thing. Like people are kind of complaining about that, but I think it's a good thing because it will train people a little bit better. At least they'll know something about
Sure.
trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of
That's
people
key.
complain about these like mega fleets, this and that, but I think it's not a bad idea to go work there for half a year or at least a year, at least so they could train you well.
Sure.
And then you could just go work for a smaller company
So
and make more money.
it's interesting you bring that up because when I was talking to the CEO of Transloop, he came out of TQL and he was there for like 8 years. And he was saying that like he learned everything from like Ken Oaks. Ken Oaks is like the CEO of TQL. Dude, this guy, like he doesn't go to like any conference. Like he like dude, he has like literally the largest brokerage, maybe besides C.H. Robinson. But the difference is C.H. Robinson is a publicly traded company. TQL is a private company, and he owns
Oh wow.
98% of it. He owns of TQL. Dude, it's a 10 billion. It's like worth $10 billion, and he owns like
Yeah.
98% of it. This guy, like, and it was funny because CEO of Transloop Nick was saying like he literally like was able to learn everything that he knows about brokerage, and the way he built his company was like by learning from Ken Oaks, the CEO of TQL. So like that
Oh
replicates the
wow.
same way in like brokerage, like you said, for working with mega fleets to learn about safety. It's like go to
Yeah.
TQL to learn about brokerage, like
Yeah. Hmm.
so
Yeah, that's pretty smart. But maybe
yeah.
that's why they sign all these non-compete and stuff.
Dude, that's exactly why we were talking about that. Like the kind of like hates the fact that people like, take all the education that they taught them and like then start their own companies. But dude, what this guy did was he took a year off because it's a 1 year non-compete, and he took a year off and he went to go work for Four Kites. And you've heard of Four Kites before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
tracking stuff.
Yeah.
And he worked there, and literally for the whole year, Four Kites was sending him to all the largest shippers across America, and he was just building relationships with them because they were
Oh
trying to
wow.
sell Four Kites to large shippers. And then
Yeah.
like he was planning the whole brokerage Transloop while he was working at Four Kites. He knew that he's only going to go to Four Kites for a year, plan out the whole operations, and just be like
Wow.
building relationships with shippers. He's a smart guy. He's 35, and he literally, dude, he's got like 100 people within 4 years of brokerage,
Wow.
100 million in revenue for a brokerage. There's only like, I forgot what the number is. There's a very small number of brokerages that go above 100 million in revenue. Very small.
Wow.
And
That's
there's,
crazy.
yeah, so he's done a great job. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
yeah, we'll have his podcast coming out soon. So
Nice, nice.
you can
Yeah,
learn a
like
little
I
bit.
think there's other brokerage that right now that are trying to get rid of these non-compete things, like
Some
that they're
are.
just trying.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. It's. I think it's more done for publicity. It's like, oh, we're getting rid of non-competes, and it's like, look at
Could
me
be.
on on LinkedIn and all.
Well,
Yeah,
honestly, I heard that like in most states, you can't even do that, right? Most
can't
states don't
enforce
even
it.
accept the non-compete. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
enforce it. What are you gonna
yeah,
do?
yeah. No, for sure.
I don't know.
Um, we'll see. Let's see
I would
here.
say
What?
more on this certain brokerage, but I would rather not for now. So
uh, so we got to do an episode with Natalia. Trucking
yeah,
safety. Mm-hmm.
yeah. That would be cool. I think a lot of people would be interested, in like learning safety and stuff because
Yeah,
it's very important in like the trucking industry, to be honest. And that's actually another way how to actually lower your insurance too. Get
totally.
it cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you got to be on top of
that's one way
safety.
to get it. Yeah, that's one
Yeah,
way to get it because that's his second question was how to get a lower rate, and literally is
sure,
like running, no losses, no accidents, nothing like that. That's one way to get a cheaper insurance, and
sure.
probably working with different brokers to try to find you a better and cheaper insurance, or like
Yeah,
a better idea. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't run unlimited miles, just run more,
yeah,
500-mile radius or something like that. So yeah.
sure. Definitely. Let's see here, Bob. You got anything else to talk about?
No, man. Um,
What do you think
what
of
else? I don't know.
the Tesla trucks, semis?
Tesla trucks. Oof. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You
I
gonna buy
see I
one?
see pictures already. Uh, I don't know. Probably not.
No.
You need like I feel like if you had like a local job, you know, it depends. I really think it depends. Like if you have the warehouse and local people that are just doing 500-mile radius, then it makes sense. But if you have like long haul OTRs, I don't think that's really gonna work, to be honest.
Sure.
But who
Yeah.
knows? They might do it so good that where it'll be like the next thing. Like now you see Tesla cars everywhere. So
Yeah. It's true.
it could be the future. It could be the future of trucking.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah.
shall see.
So
Um,
you're back in Chicago now, or
yeah, I'm in Chicago. I'm in Chicago, and then on Sunday I fly to Vegas. I'm going to that conference in Las Vegas for Manifest. It's gonna be like all these CEOs of like all these like startups and other companies. Like I'm gonna be talking to like the CEO of Flock Freight. So I could actually talk to the CEO of Flock Freight. I'm gonna be like, yo, by the way, this MC is good to go. Uh,
exactly?
dude, that guy was
I'll text
yeah.
I'll text you my MC. Yeah.
Send it over. Dude, that guy
Uh,
was in Davos. Like the world meetup in Davos, like Switzerland. They like do like the every year. There's the World Economic Forum, WEF. No,
No.
disregard.
See,
He was there.
I don't know much about that. Like, I don't know all these conferences. I really don't. I should start going to some, because I feel like it would
Sure.
networking is a very good thing, but I don't really know any of them. So next time, if you want to like let me know, maybe we can go together or something.
Dude, well, what's crazy is Manifest is paying me
We
to
could
go
do
there,
a
dude.
podcast right at the conference, huh?
Dude, Manifest is paying me to go to Vegas
Really?
to, and I'm
Oh
going to be
wow.
doing a live podcast at like the fucking conference. And
Oh
so,
wow.
so we'll definitely get, if you want to do like, if we continue this podcast, dude, we're for sure going to have that. I was talking to a conference today where there's a ton of shippers. It's called Home Delivery in Philadelphia. And the lady, like, she didn't want to pay me, but she was like, we'll give you a free ticket, which typically costs like $2,000 just to come here. And you have like
Oh
the
wow.
media zone. So
Yeah.
you'll be in the media zone. So we could go
Oh wow.
do that in Philly. They'll give us free tickets if we want to do
That's
that.
dope.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and then I'll be at TIA in Orlando in April. If you should go there. That's a brokerage conference though. That's literally all
Oh really?
brokers. It might be not bad
I'll be
for,
I'll
yeah.
be a broker soon, so I'll be there.
Oh yeah? Okay,
We
cool.
got something boiling.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Nice.
but we'll see. But see,
Cool.
that's another thing. I feel like why I can't go to some of these conferences is because I have like, the trucking outside and then the other side and then real estate a little bit. So I feel like and then posting memes every day. Do you know how hard it is to create
It's a
memes
lot.
every day?
Dude, I
But yeah,
automate my memes now. Like I plan my
really?
memes. I plan my memes on like a Saturday or Sunday, and I post it like for 2 weeks straight, where it's just like every day at 11 a.m. Central Time it gets posted. I don't have to do any of that because that shit drove me crazy.
See, that's why I get more likes though, because you're just
You
automated. Me, I'm actually like
no,
trying, like
but
putting
you
my
get more likes
effort.
because you have a lot more followers. Dude, but to
But
be
why don't I
honest,
have more followers? Because I'm more like, yo, this is actually me. I'm just
well, I just
messing, but
started, dude. I started doing it 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, and I get more likes on the ones that are automated than the ones that aren't automated.
really,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I bet there is actual certain systems like where when to post it and when's a good time. But I don't
sure.
do that, dude. Honestly, for me, it's like if I find something funny, I will post it.
Yeah,
I don't even I do post it for other people because I want to make other people laugh, but I want to make
sure.
myself self
Yeah,
laugh, And if I
sure,
can laugh
sure,
off of my own meme, that's where I'm like, dude, I'm posting this.
for sure.
Sometimes I'll post some ones where it's like, yeah, should I or not? But I'll just post it.
I love the gorilla in like the shower or something doing the
Yeah.
circle. That was so funny.
That was mad funny. Dude, I will literally sometimes go back and like just check some of my memes and I'm like, man, I made some
Yeah,
amazing memes.
dude, totally.
And sometimes like some memes you don't I actually like thought about this. I think I actually wrote it down. Like why do some memes go viral? Like in some memes, like you don't even expect it to do as good. Like I
Sure.
I have actually recently I was like actually looking through my phone and I get not notifications because I silence them, but like I'll
Yeah.
go on my Instagram and I'll get like this video was like, and it's that video is like, yes, yes, yes. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? It was like those guys singing or whatever. Dude, that video is literally
Yeah.
going viral for like I'm like 3 weeks or 4 weeks later,
Yeah. I
and I'm
remember
like
that. Yeah.
somebody's like reposting it, and it's like almost at a million views, and I'm like, I would have
That's
never
crazy.
expected this video to go viral, like I would have never expected
Yeah.
this meme to go viral.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow on Instagram, and he like does like all this like real stuff, and he gives you tips, and he's like, you never know when a reel might go viral, and I'm like, I didn't know about that, but like you typically when you post something, that's like that first hour is like usually the hour where it gets the
Yeah,
most likes, most interactions. But with reels, suppose like yeah, they just Instagram just shoots it out sometimes. So
yeah.
like
No,
always be
it's definitely
posting.
interesting. Yeah, and like this one, I feel like it's actually I've seen even my because I was stuck at like a certain amount of followers, and now that
Sure,
this video is going viral, my followers are actually growing
sure.
too. So I don't know if
Yeah,
Instagram changed their algorithms or what, but yeah, pretty cool.
that's cool for sure.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah,
I was gonna say, so our plan is what? To get some more people on this podcast,
yeah,
have some more good content for people to realize. I
totally.
feel like we should get a lot of a lot of like feedback from our followers to see what they want
Totally.
to talk about, and
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
want to hear.
100%.
That would
Feedback is great. Any feedback, Leave reviews. If you're listening to this podcast, you like it, leave us a 5-star review. If you don't like it, leave us a bad review. Just leave us some reviews. I guess.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to get the feedback 100%. And we got some really good feedback on the one with Brett that we did last week. That was good. People liked it.
Oh yeah.
It
Okay.
was.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So
what's
if
nice?
anybody that's watching this, go on
Yeah,
YouTube, comment, and like it too.
yeah,
Especially like leave a comment what you think is good and what you think is bad.
for
Dang,
sure.
somebody keeps calling me. But
Same
yeah.
with Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever they listen to, because it's also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Okay, you post that on Spotify too?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
definitely,
mostly I listen to some stuff on Spotify, but like most of the stuff I listen to like on YouTube.
really,
So
you got
yeah.
YouTube Premium?
Yeah. No, just I watch it with ads too.
Really?
I
Dude, I
can't
have
afford
YouTube
YouTube
Premium.
Premium right now.
Dude, YouTube Premium is so clutch. It's honestly the best thing, YouTube Premium.
Really? I
Yeah.
feel like that's like a flex. People like, yo, I got YouTube Premium.
Dude,
Cool.
YouTube Premium is probably more valuable than Spotify. Do you pay for Spotify?
I do pay for Spotify, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can just switch
Spotify.
it.
I don't want to listen to ads when I'm like listening to music. What does YouTube Premium do? What it's just skipping ads, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
listen to the ads or what? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
right. And you could skip it. You could save it too. So if you're in an airplane, you could save it ahead of time. You could watch the whole thing.
Oh
It's like
wow.
Netflix. So that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is, but I feel like there's too many platforms where you're paying every month money, money, money,
Sure, sure, sure.
and you're
Yeah.
like, there's only this much in my account.
I
So yeah.
feel you on that. Definitely. But yeah, so feedback, get some great guests. I know that we're gonna talk to Natalia from Safety. I'm gonna get the Samsara guys on it, and then I'm gonna get some like brokerage stuff, people in brokerage, so you could
Yeah. And it
uh
would be cool to get like a driver too. I feel like,
sure.
maybe one of the drivers, just so they could, talk
Totally.
about a little bit how it is driving right now.
Yeah,
So yeah, that
for
would be
sure.
definitely cool.
Yeah, cool. And then like on top of that, like we'll write like a blog post, an article summarizing the whole thing. Like we did a summary of our podcast last week. It's in a
Uh-huh.
basic blog. So like if people just want to read it, skim through it, they could also just read it. Uh
Yeah. Yeah. People
yeah,
like different things. So
yeah,
there's people
for
that want
sure.
to read and there's people that only thing I read is like Morning Brew. Have you
Oh
heard
yeah.
of that, right?
Dude, you got to, of
The
course, you got to subscribe to my newsletter to freightcaviar.com. It's the
I
morning
do,
brew of
yeah.
freight. You got to subscribe to
Really?
it. Yeah, it's the morning brew of freight. Did
Okay. I'll
I
have
have like the data like for rates as well. So what when you go into morning brew, you have like the stocks and like the latest like
Mhm.
update on stocks. I have it for
Yeah.
lanes and stuff. I have that.
Oh well.
I partnered with
Yeah,
Green
I'll
Screens.
have to do that for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
send
that's
it to
like
you.
the only one that I read. And then like in the morning when I drive to work, I'll listen to like it's called T-Boy something. They
Okay.
used to like they do like three major stories in the morning or something like that. That's what I'll listen to. But
All
yeah.
right.
And then when I come home, I'll watch like some podcasts like from other actual followers that I like
Sure.
follow and stuff.
Milk
So but
Boys.
yeah.
Send
Yeah.
it, full send
Full
podcast.
set full send podcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Dude, they were just in Russia last week
I know.
with
I was like,
Hasbullah.
leave.
Yeah, like literally, like
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised by that they actually ended up, but that's like Milk Boys. I feel like that's what they do.
Yeah. Just probably trying to get some, yeah, whatever.
Publicity. Yeah.
But
Stop
there's
booking
my
cheap
artwork
loads.
too. Exactly.
Cool. Good stuff, Bob. I was actually planning on visiting you in Charlotte this week, but tickets were too expensive. So
Yeah. Everything is getting expensive in the Biden economy, unfortunately.
oh shit. Become a political podcast.
Nah, it's not political. It just everything is. I mean, look at eggs. What are we paying? 15 bucks a dozen?
Dude,
Gotta
it's
get our own
crazy.
chicken now.
Dude, in Poland, I get organic eggs for like $2, and like organic, like the most organic, like the best ones. Like that's like double the price of like the
Where?
normal in Poland. In
Oh,
Poland,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could go to Alabama to my brother's house. He's got chickens. I can have organic eggs too.
Nice, nice.
You don't even got to go to Poland. You can
For
have your
sure.
own chickens. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's definitely like here in Charlotte, I think it's up to like 10 bucks. Some of them, like the organic ones are like 10 or 12 bucks. So
it's crazy.
yeah.
Still a good deal. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Still a good deal. Just relatively, it's more expensive than it used to be.
Right.
It's like that Bob Simpson, no Homer Simpson meme where it's uh, like today was the worst day I ever had in my life. It's like the worst day so far.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I've
it's
seen
like
that.
the price of eggs. It's like it's the worst so
Yeah.
far. Yeah. So like
Right. It'll be
Yeah.
$20 next week.
Yeah, and then we're like, shit, we should have just been happy with the $10 eggs. But
Right.
yeah.
I actually posted a meme, but it was in Ukrainian or Russian, where he was actually talking about it's like two soldiers standing. Maybe you've seen it, and he's like, "When are we gonna be happy?" And he's like, "Well, you should have been happy. You know, that was the happy time." He's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me it was the happy time?" He's like, "Well, I didn't know." He's like, "That's it. Now I'm just gonna be happy all the time." You know, because they were like going through the rough patches or whatever. Because you think back then it was like a good time, but yeah, that was pretty funny. It's funny. It's funnier in Ukrainian or Russian, you know, if you understand it. But yeah.
Totally. Cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
So
Bob,
I think this is it, right?
Yeah,
Let's call it a.
We're gonna call it a day.
Is there any other questions that we got to answer? Or?
No, I think we're good on that. Definitely gonna get some guests for next week planned out, and then you know, hit it off on that. And then let's see here. Yeah, we got to do like one where we just talk about you and what you guys what you did with USA Transportation. I feel like everyone wants to know about like more about USA Transportation, how you started it, and all that stuff. So we could do that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and I feel like when we do like maybe when we do these one-on-ones, we can do like a specific topic too. You know, just like, hey, let's talk about this or that, and go from there. I think it would be more interesting because right now we're honestly like just shooting back feedback.
Yeah,
I mean we'll post this up too, I'm guessing, but.
We'll have some certain story questions, which are good. But
yeah. But like we can get like, okay, let's talk about insurance, or let's talk about this, and maybe get somebody from insurance, or get somebody from safety, or get somebody, you know, that way everybody knows, you know, that we're talking about a certain thing. So yeah,
exactly. And to build on that, my favorite podcast, My First Million, what they do is like they like literally find like interesting businesses like that, like you have never heard about, and like they'll like write about like who did it, how they did it, and like how they were successful. And I feel like that might be interesting, like where it's like we talk about freight, where it's like, oh, this company that you've never heard of before is doing this and that. They should just like give like business ideas for freight. There's so many opportunities in this industry. It's ridiculous.
That's a good idea, man. To even go and actually to some businesses and be like, hey, what do you guys do, or what do you guys ship? You know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good idea.
We get some,
or even trucking companies like, hey, what lane do you run, and how do you survive in this market? That'd be pretty cool too. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, Bob. Well, take care. I hope you have all your trucks covered for today. So
I think so. I don't know. I got a couple missed calls, so we'll see if anything got canceled.
Hope not.
All right, Paul. Sounds good. It was nice talking to you. And
likewise, Bob. See you next week.
I'll talk to you later. Yep.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Freight Caviar podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, or if you didn't, leave a review. Let me know what you think. I appreciate any feedback. If you'd like to have more Freight Caviar content, go to freightcaviar.com and subscribe to my email newsletter.